everyone! So last week was the county fair and it was so much fun. On the first day, we started off with showmanship, which Tally was great at. She doesn't really like to use her hind legs, so it was kind of hard to do the pivots on the pattern of the showmanship. But since she was such a good girl, we got a blue ribbon in it, and since we are going to state, which I will explain a little bit more in the video, we will be showing showmanship at state. So let me explain what we are going to state for. Me and Tally are going to state for pleasure, which means we will be showing English pleasure, English equitation, and Western pleasure. Not only that, but we will also be doing games, which is like the barrels, jumping figure eight, and keyhole. As you can see, the judge was super nice, just inspecting me and Tally, and we did great job, and it was just super fun, especially for it being the first showing of the day. And again, you can see that our pivot is not the greatest, but we will still try to keep on working on it for the fair. And also, this is actually my second time only doing showmanship with her. Then we got ready for English pleasure. And Tally did a great job with English pleasure. Obviously, English is definitely my strong suit since I've been doing it for the past 3 years, but we still did great with the Western pleasure, Western horsemanship, and everything else. Then they asked us to canter our horses, and Tally, since she is more of a Western horse, it was difficult for her to want to go slow, so obviously her canter was a lot faster than most horses. Then after our English pleasure and equitation, we did Western pleasure, which was super fun since Tally has an amazing jog, and they also asked us to do a lope, and again, her lope is a lot faster than most horses. Then we went straight into the keyhole, which was super fun, except Tally, again, doesn't really like to use her hind legs, so it was harder for her to turn around faster. Although Tally was such a good girl and got us 12 seconds. Then we did pole weaving. As you can see here, we hit the timer line, which was a bummer because we got no time on the run, which is okay. It was still a fun experience. Then once I realized that we accidentally hit the timer line, it all went downhill from there. I knocked a couple of poles over, which was a bummer. And it was actually my first ever time doing pole weaving with a timer. But at least I still got a white ribbon. We also went into jumping figure eight, which we got blue in. We also got blue in English pleasure, English equitation, Western pleasure, and Western horsemanship. But Tally was just such a good girl, going around the barrels on the jumping figure eight and going over the jumps. Honestly, I think she could be a jumping horse. And then we did barrels, and it was just so fun because I love barrels. Even though I've only been doing them for a month, I think me and Tally have been working really well on them. We also did get blue in barrels, which was super fun, just to keep my blue ribbon streak going. It was also fun to decorate her stall with all of her ribbons that she got us. Then we did trail, which we went over the bridge. And me and Tally are not that great at trail because it's hard for Tally to back up and do a pivot and do the gate especially. And then we went over some poles, which she was a little hesitant to go over and hopped over them. As you can see, we were in English tack because I figured I could have both reins for trail because I didn't want to go into the trail with just one rein, so I did English. As you can see here, Tally was not a fan of backing up back through the L, which is okay, and we can definitely practice that, but we will not be showing trail at state. And the reason that we will not be showing trail is because we got a red ribbon in trail and not blue, and you need to have blue to show at state. Then they had us canter a circle, and she was just super excited, and I was trying to calm her down because the gate was coming up shortly, and I didn't want her to be very antsy with the gate. When we were practicing trail before the county fair, it was hard for both me and Tally to navigate through the gate because it kept on falling over, and we just didn't have an area to practice it except when we would go to the fairgrounds. As you can see, the gate did accidentally fall over, and I honestly don't think it was just Tally's fault or just my fault, because I think I might have accidentally navigated her wrong, or she might have done something wrong. I wasn't sure. I've only practiced this a couple of times, so I wasn't that knowledgeable about doing the gate. Although it does look easy, I promise you, it is not easy or fun. Then the next day, they had the costume contest where me and Tally were Top Gun Tally. So it was based off the movie Top Gun Maverick. I was a pilot and she was the plane. And Tally was such a good girl. She didn't really freak out by the wings, and everyone's costume was just so fun and creative, and it was so fun to see other people's ideas. Then the next day, we did English pleasure again and English equitation. Again, like I told you, Tally's canter is not that slow, so it is a bit fast, especially since she is a game horse in Western. But she was such an amazing horse when doing it. She even got us a blue ribbon in English pleasure and English equitation. And if you don't know the difference between English pleasure or English equitation, English pleasure is based on the pleasure of how the horse moves and how it works. And English equitation is how well the rider is. Then the judge was just giving us some tips on how we can get better, and it was just super nice of her to give us tips. Then for the second day of showing, we also did Western pleasure and Western horsemanship. And again, if you don't know the difference between the two, Western pleasure is how well the horse is and the pleasure of how it moves. And Western horsemanship is how well the rider is and how it can control the horse, and also there is a pattern just like English equitation. All in all, I am super excited to show this at the state fair. But they had us go both ways, lope and jog and walk, obviously. And like I said, it was just super fun experience to learn new things. Then we did keyhole, which was super fun. And again, her pivot doing the keyhole is not the greatest, but we ended up getting no ribbon in this game. But we did get a ribbon in pole weaving, which she got a time of 15 seconds, which was super great. And on keyhole, we actually shaved off 3 seconds of our time on the first day, of a total of 9 seconds. Then we did jumping figure 8, which she was really good at, but it ended up getting rained out, so we never got a placement for it. But on this day, she brought us home 6 blue ribbons with English equitation, English pleasure, Western horsemanship, and Western pleasure.